Hello, my name is Travis Beatty. I'm from Timber Bay, Saskatchewan. Welcome to another episode of the Sit Down Podcast.
Look at that beauty. Wow. Welcome everybody
It's
again.
Beatty.
Yeah, it's Beatty.
It's Beatty, not Beatty.
I like it. Welcome everybody at home this week for tuning in, and those of you at house, good to see you guys. Heck yeah. Besides a round of applause. Wasn't that great? Hell.
Did I do a good intro? Yeah? Is it?
We were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about the music.
Oh,
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was my intro.
It's all good,
thought
brother.
we were a fan of my intro.
Welcome, and thank you for coming to Bellevue, Saskatchewan to come hang out with us tonight, Travis.
Yeah, of course. I've never been up here before. I've never been this far down that St. Louis highway, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been to St. Louis, never further. This is a really nice spot. Like, I really like this. This restaurant is like the nicest thing. Like, this is nicer than most restaurants in city. You know, like there's like, I come out to Bellevue, they got great food. Like,
Heck yeah, that's all G. Shout out to the chef, G, the main chef. He's the main guy who lets us do this every week here. So yeah, big shout out to the Capitaine Restaurant. So Travis, I was thinking about this when I was having my cigarette after, and truth be told, I don't know if we'd know each other, honest to God, if it wasn't for Gary O.
Yeah.
I'll be
right.
dead honest. You
That's right.
like, because I know you grew up in the Prince Albert area, and I've seen you perform at like Chesterfest a couple times, and I remember an evening at Pabco, Prince Albert Brewing Company. Mark and I were there for a Gary O experience, or like he was doing a show there one night, and I if I'm not mistaken, were you performing with him or did you open for
With
him?
him.
I played with him.
With him,
Yeah.
right? And then I remember having a conversation with you after, and I was like, oh shit, dude, I didn't know you could shred like that. And we were talking about your guitar skills. And so I just to be dead honest with you, I kind of want to dedicate this episode to Gary O, if
Yeah.
that's okay, man.
100%,
May he rest
man.
in peace.
Yeah, 100%. Gary, like personally, Gary's in like he was a close personal friend of mine. I had gone to his place at 16 when I was going around to producers in Prince Albert. I was going around to the local producers, asking every one of them to their faces, can I come into your studio? Can I shadow you? Can I come see how you work? Because like there was something. My dad is a tradesman, and he's big on apprenticing. So he kept telling me, it's like, it's a trade, my boy. You gotta go do this, you gotta do that. You just gotta find someone to apprentice, and then you get your red seal. Same thing, you know. He broke it down like that.
Yeah.
The industry, and I don't know at what point he did that to me for like telling me to go see Gary, but he specifically told me to go see Gary O, because Gary had mixed he mixed the show that I was in when I was a little kid called Northern Spirits.
Okay.
It was a youth program run by Cheryl Kimbley out in Prince Albert. And it was like, it had gone on for years and years. I met Gary there. He was the mix engineer. He was mixing the show. My first 2 years there, I was maybe 3 or 4. I can't remember. I was a stagehand. I wasn't even like a musician. I'd be hiding under tables. I wouldn't go to the stage at all. Like, that's not my thing. And even now, I'm like kind of a quieter person. But back then, it was very like apparent that I was a very, very shy person, because I would like I would wear a hat just so nobody would look in my eyes.
Right.
And I would like this shy kid stuff, you know. Like I was a kid. And Gary was kind of there walking around doing his thing. My dad whispered in my ear, like, hey, you should go ask Gary if you can do something for him, you know, if you're just chilling here, like if we're just sitting around. So I went up to him. I was like, is there anything I can do backstage? Can I hand mics? Can I do this? Can I do that? And he was like, sure. Let's go learn how to shut the power amps on and off. So he taught me how to power the whole stage on and off. And then we went to the mixing board, and he taught me how to EQ the lead vocal. He was like, this is how you make it sit on top, because I've already done everything else. Let's sound check the vocal now. You can watch me do this. And then I would sit behind him, kind of looking over his shoulder. And then that went on for a couple years, where I'd show up. First thing I would do is hit the soundboard, go see Gary, because he'd, like, reliably, Gary would be sitting there working or doing something or showing another youth something, right? Because that was, like, he was, like, big help with that program for the sound side of things. Years later, as I was saying, I met up with him when I was, like, 16, 17, after I'd been playing a couple years and writing songs. And he was, he had a studio called Blue Wall Studio. And I showed up there when I was like 16. I think I literally showed up at his door because he had sent me his address. He's like, come take a look. And when I got in there, I was like, so you working on anything? Can I sit here for the day? Like, I tried to just squeeze my way in his room. Like, so can I sit here for a bit? Like, can I watch you work? And then he was, he's like, yeah, sure, man. He was working on another band's stuff at the time. So he pulled up a mix and he was showing me how he sorted the percussion in the mix, I think it was. He was showing me, okay, this one, the fundamental of this hits at 200 hertz. The fundamental of this one hits at 150. He was saying stuff like that, stuff that I couldn't conceptualize at the time. But I was sitting there like, okay, there's a fundamental. That means something. You know,
absolutely.
It was like my first, I just dipping my toes in the water of production and working in this industry, like working in the industry, not just playing, right? Like working. And then for years, like, I'd go back to Gary, we'd hang out, he'd tell me things, and it was like that up until, you know, but he had been playing the Gary O experience, and he had a song, I don't think you can love me like that, and I used to sing that all the time. I used to jam to that one all the time. So I got I guess the balls one day to text him, and I was like, hey, can I play in your band? Put my phone down. You know, like, he might say no. He was like, sure, man, let's get together, jam. Let's sort it out. Because my buddy Colton played with him at the time too. Colton from Greenwind and LJ and the Locals. Like, he's he played with Gary for, I think, like a year before I started up with him. And I played a few gigs with him. And yeah, it was a good time in the Gary O experience. It was one of the best times of my life. That was one of the most challenging gigs because Gary had an ear to be reckoned with. You buzz a note, and it's not even missing a note. It's if you hit it with the wrong pressure, you gotta quit.
Really?
You know, not like a mean one, but you could tell he could hear it, and he'd be, and like, oops, I don't want to offend anybody. You know, like he'd do like a quick like that, and it was like, it's just that ear, that sharp of an ear. You can't help but like when you hear something, you know, and it's like, it was also difficult because he ran tracks with click tracks, and it was my first time using in-ear monitors. Okay. Because he had this big production, right? Yeah. And it was, so we'd sit around with in-ear monitors at the practices. Well, they used in-ear monitors at the practices. I don't think I ever got a pack at the practices because he only took the big packs to the gigs. So him and the drummer would have the pack at the practice, and then we jammed at his brother Terry's place.
Oh yeah. The bass player.
Yeah, out in Waka.
Yep.
Yeah, we jammed at his place, and it was a nice little basement. He has like a setup down there with speakers.
Well, there you go. You have to go past St. Louis
to get to Waka.
Past Bellevue to get here.
Yeah.
Or I mean, past here to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Like, that was the best time of my life. Like, literally the best few gigs of my life. You know, that was like, it felt like being a rock star, because that's what he would say before the gig is,
oh yeah,
you're a rock star tonight. You put on your rock star face.
Frickin' right,
stand
man.
at the front of the stage. Like,
flippin' missed that guy.
I remember we that gig that we went to at Papco. We haven't met you yet. You're this shy kid, the guitar player for Gary, and we're like, well, we're here for Gary, and I said, oh, Colt's on drums. That's cool. And then we met his brother, and then show starts, and you start playing, and we're like, okay, this kid can play. And then he opens his mouth, and he's like, oh shit, he can sing too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So that was it was impressive.
If I dig in my phone, I bet you I have some footage, or maybe on my computer, of that night. I just might actually, but
why don't you pull up your phone and
look it up? No, I think so. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, I think the credit on how we know each other, I would give to Gary O. If it wasn't for Gary, wouldn't have seen you at Pabco that night. We wouldn't have come in and talked to you and told you how great you were. You know, all of the above.
Well, we did meet at an LJ Tyson show in PA at the Rawlinson Center too.
Probably,
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
yeah.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when I played with LJ there, hey?
Yeah.
Was that when that was before Colin was playing with him, and there was like I forgot I played with him that time. There was like 2 gigs where I played with him that one year.
Where they had the stage backwards and
Yeah.
the chairs were on the stage. Yeah.
I forgot about that gig.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was good.
That
Okay,
was
wait.
cool.
Tell me more about this. So you guys put the crowd on the stage,
Yep.
and then you guys performed in the
Yeah,
audience.
so it's
Yeah.
because no.
Kind of.
No, because the stage at the Rawlinson Center is pretty big.
Yeah.
If you have a smaller show
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're expecting
Right, but you can open it up, and then everybody's on. Yeah. Okay.
so instead of trying to fill a 5,000 people
Venue.
you have 100 and some all on the stage, and then the artist is just turned around.
Yeah, that
It
makes
was a good
sense.
jam. Gary was doing sound that day too.
Yes,
while
he
we're
was.
on- Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Rest in peace, Gary.
Rest in
We love
peace,
you, man.
R.I.P.
Hell yeah. So.
I wanna see you tonight. You're on my mind all the time. Changing, trying. I got a box of wine. I'm feeling right. I'ma try to take my time with you. Won't be rushing this. I wanna miss you. I'ma try to take my time with you. Won't be rushing this. I wanna miss you. How do you love? Baby, how do you love? How do you love? Baby, how do you love? How do you love? Tell me, how do you love? Baby, how do you love? How do you love? Call your number whenever you say PM or A. Locked and dialed, I'm in my car and I'm all the way. I'ma try to take my time with you. Won't be rushing this. I wanna miss you. I'ma try to take my time with you. Won't be rushing this. I wanna miss you. How do you love? How do you love? How do you love? Baby, how do you love? Baby, how do you love? How do you love? Baby, how do you love? How do you love? Baby, 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 how do you love? Tell me, how do you love? How do you love? Baby, how do you love?
Hell yeah. So not only are you a singer-songwriter, but you do have your own studio as well, where you work on your own projects as well as other people's, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I have like a little basement studio I have set up right now. And we've been producing things in there. Like we've been producing pop. We've been making some like rock. Some right now it's a lot of country. A lot of country's coming through, which is kind of sick.
Sick isn't good, or sick
Sick
isn't
isn't
like you're
good.
sick and tired
like
of it?
sick, like skater sick. But there's a lot of genres coming through, and it's a fun challenge because I've since I was a kid I've played country music. That's been like not my thing, but that's like what I know how to play.
Right, kind of like Richie Valens.
Like Richie Valens. Yeah, Richie
Make
Valens.
it sound like Richie.
My dad, I was telling these guys before, my dad used to tell me when we were jamming, sound like Richie Valens, my boy. That lick sounded like a Richie Valens lick. He'd say things like that. That's for the audience. Sorry, what was I talking about?
About
again?
how country's coming in through the studio quite
yeah.
frequently.
Okay, so you guys had him on here a couple weeks ago, Dakota Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing his song with us. And he was downstairs last month and a half ago. We were talking kind of logistics, how he wants to release the sound he wants, and he hasn't really come back to finish the demo. But like that's just because we're both so busy. He's got his family, he's got his career now that he's restarted. You know,
Right.
There's this whole process that this guy's going through. So I like, for one, I'm working as well, and two, I don't want to like. I'm a very last minute person when it comes to studio stuff. Like my friends will text me 7 a.m. and be like, I wrote a song last night. Can I come today? And I'll text them and be like, yeah, come at like 11 a.m. or whatever. We'll chill out. Like we'll demo this and see what we can make. So I don't want to like, I don't want to rush a guy that's that busy like that, but I guess I should just text them or something I'll figure out. But yeah, but there's like, Dakota's someone I'm excited to work with. He's got this $1 million voice, you know. He's got this like he sings a note and it doesn't even matter what note it is. That guy like I personally, I'll say this, a song I'm sick of is Fishing in the Dark. Dakota makes that song fun. He makes it fun to jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you know, like, when we had him on the show too, we were talking about vocal warm-ups, pre-show, and he was explaining to us how he has never done that, and it was like
He just walks up.
yeah,
That's insane.
he never practices. He just, what you get at the performance is like him just giving her.
Wanna
I
play?
advised
Sure.
Dakota, I still think that you should be doing that to protect your voice, bro. But I get it, man. Do your thing, man. It's all good. All the love. But yeah, do you do vocal warm-ups before you're doing a show?
I do like basic ones. I like loosen up my chest, my shoulders, my throat. You know, I like do a whole loosen up thing. But I have not really practiced too many like scales or anything in my life. I've not done the crazy stuff that people do. I shouldn't say crazy, but the stuff that people do that's like kind of like really, really, really taking care of your voice. Like I've never steamed my voice in my life. I don't think, where you do like the lemon water in water and then you boil it and you steam it. You put a towel over your head or something. I'll Google it. You'll find it. But there's like there's a warm up where you do that. I've never done anything like that. Hand warm ups though. I'm big on like guitar warm ups. Like I'll sit, stretch, like I'll isolate each finger and I'll stretch, and then dynamic stretch. I'll do like a whole hand thing because I worked construction for a couple of years, so my hands are all like
Callousy and all that.
Yeah. So I'm big on warming up my hands. Otherwise, I'll go for a G chord and accidentally play an A or something. And be like, oops.
Then you got Gary giving you the look.
Give me a look.
He's still watching over you.
Oh yeah. Oh, freaking right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that like we know you're recording with other artists in your studio as well as working on your own project. A question I have for you: do you find yourself more critical when you're working on your own art than if you're working with somebody else, like Dakota, for example?
No.
Is it the opposite?
Opposite.
Yeah.
Because it's more freeing for me to work on my own stuff. Because if I mess something up, I just don't put it out. But if I'm working on somebody else's stuff and they're paying me for it, I'm like, well, I have to make this work one way or another. You know,
Right.
it's not. That's my job. It's my job to make it work. It's not my job to give them something that I think might work. It's my job to give them something I know will. You know, like,
I know exactly how that feels. When I do a website for someone, there is no that's good enough.
yeah.
But if it's my own website, it's like, that'll do.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's hard because like it's like making pancakes. You make 100 of them, you're gonna get a few wrong, right? You're gonna miss a couple of them. So there's this whole thing about the creation process where not everything's perfect. Not everything is even what you want it to be. You might start a whittling project trying to make a bear and you wind up with a wolf by accident. Like things happen. Like
Both are cool.
yeah, trust the process, right? Like you just trust the process.
Yeah, I agree. So what are some of the most exciting projects that you've worked on that you're like, I'm proud of this one?
Right now, working
And
on my.
that's not to discredit any of the other projects you've done, but what's
Oh, definitely, and I'll proudly say this. Right now, I'm working on my wife's record. She has a group of 8 songs. We're trying to get them together. We're putting together, and she's been singing since she was a little kid. She's been singing since she was 4 or 5 years old. So she's like, she's got this long career behind her already, but no original music out. And so I'm like, we gotta do this. Let's get your original.
Absolutely.
And to boot, she's a killer songwriter. And so it's like there's this star power not being activated there that I'm trying to like show her is star power, and it's
Hell
like she's
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm looking at her right now. What? Come give the camera a little wave here, if you don't mind.
Come, come here.
Should we pause and put another mic out?
we can.
Would you want to jump on
Wanna
the
come hang
show
out?
here?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
The Sit Down Podcast is brought to you by Funky Moose Records. Funky Moose Records is an online record store. We sell new and used vinyl records, storage solutions like inner and outer sleeves, and cleaning supplies from, for example, Groove Washer. We also sell turntables from Audio Technica and speakers by Kanto. And if you're in the market for a record, how about this one? The Northern Royals EP. It is on gold splatter vinyl, and it's available at funkymooserecords.ca.
All right, we are back.
Hi.
Welcome, Sam.
Hello.
Hell yeah. So, as you were sitting over there and you were listening to the discussion here, I had no freaking idea that you're a performer as well, singer-songwriter.
Yeah, that's actually how Travis and I met.
Ah.
Yeah, we actually met our friend LJ through like a charity Christmas concert, and he asked me to sing and Travis to play guitar. We didn't do rehearsal or anything, so like we met on stage.
Really?
And yeah, so I was just singing and
Speaking of
he
no
was playing
warm-ups.
guitar
Yeah, right?
and yeah, that's usually how the shows go around PA too. Like some of them just ask you to come and you go sing your songs. But yeah, I remember like seeing him and being like, who is that guy? No, like I just like we actually were friends for like 2 years before we actually like
Started dating.
Yeah, so we built it on friendship and love of music. Like we sang together all the time. So like our core foundation of us is music. So
I
yeah.
love this so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much. That's an amazing story for your children. If you guys do you guys think
Yeah.
you'll have kids
Yeah,
moving forward?
we'll have kids eventually. I think we're just career right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So a question for you. How is it working in the studio with your husband?
That was I was trying to word that.
Right?
It's like my favorite. He's definitely the like most favorite person I've worked
Okay,
with.
wait. How long have you been together?
We've been together, how long has it been? 6 years?
2019.
5 years? 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we were
Okay.
friends for 2 years. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that he's definitely I know I'm biased, but he's one of the best producers I've worked with. And seeing him work with other clients as well, like other musicians, he brings like the best out in people. If people will come into the studio, they won't believe in themselves, and they'll leave the studio saying like, hey, I can actually do this. Like,
Right.
I made a hit today.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's really cool to see.
I don't know if that's because of me or if they just do their thing and realize that, yeah.
Well, like that's what you do. You bring that out in them.
You bring that realization to them,
Yeah.
to the forefront of it.
I can't do this. Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a really healing environment for me, especially like having that in my home and like having that place to go. Like there's a few times I'm a night owl and he's a morning person. So sometimes it will be like 1 a.m. and I'm like, I have a song idea. And he's like, all right, let's do it.
Just sit at my
And it's
computer.
Yeah. We recorded my single. I'm releasing my single on, what did we settle on, the 22nd of this month of January. and we recorded it pretty late like that. I think it was like 2 a.m. And I just
Holy smokes.
I got like the verse and chorus in my head, and then he immediately got inspired and ran to the computer, and he was like, we're demoing that right now. And I was like, it made me so excited to see someone excited for something that I wrote, and then we wrote the rest of the song together, and it, kind of just happened like organically. It was really cool.
Pulled at the end of every string, tighter knots and less rings. Lights gone, but I got one more. Matching the house, my lungs are sore. Run out of you, out of you. Run out of you, out of you. Run out of you, out of you. When the dark comes, I run out. Can break the cycle, I ride it too much. Needed to live, and in the liquor I trust. Just I got shit to live with. Generations of gifts. Run out of you, out of you. Run out of you, out of you. Run out of you, out of you. Run out. Standing on highest ground. Climbing up and I won't come down. Sobered up, I'm better now. So the next time I'm out, run out of you, out of you. Run out of you, out of you. Oh, when I run out of you, out of you. Run out.
Oh, that's
awesome.
a beauty.
So if Travis is working with a client, are you there as well, giving your input, or is that his thing? You leave him alone.
So I've definitely done that with some clients.
I tried to get her downstairs. She has really good opinions, but sometimes she won't. I'm working with Chester Knight right now. You guys know Chester Knight? He's big where I'm from, and he's like he's Chester Knight to me, you know. And I keep trying to get Sam to come downstairs.
Is he related to Lancelot?
That's his dad.
Oh, okay.
Lance is his son. Yeah. Lance played with. Chester told me a story about him and his kids, just because of this quick side thing. While we're talking about it, they've been playing with him since they were in high school. They've been playing with him since they were like kids and like professional. Like that's just a quick plug to the Knights. They're insane. Like all three of them, like that I've met, they're insane. In the best way. What is the saying?
You're working with Chad. Yeah, you were working with Chad, and you were trying to get her downstairs.
Oh yeah, okay. I keep trying to get her downstairs, but it's hard. She'll be like, yeah, I'll come downstairs. We'll hang out. We'll sit around, and then the session will be over. I'll be like, hey Chester, see you next time, buddy. I'll send you a rough fix. You know, we do that talk. And he heads out, and I'll be like, we need not like no pressure, but not like we needed you, but like man, it would have been like. I don't know, your opinions are very much of value in the studio. Like, again, you've been doing music your whole life. Like, it's a huge value to have a person that's like that practiced and that like in tune with music in the studio. And whether or not you're on the song, it's just that the knowledge and the observation of it. It's just actually observation and knowledge. My sweater says that. But like the knowledge that you have is just huge. Like, yeah.
I think like for me, I want the artists to have a comfortable space to be themselves in. for me, it takes like a little bit for me to warm up in a studio to have a lot of people around. So I just want to give that respect to those artists. But if someone's more open and like I haven't met him yet, so I'm like, I don't want to just be like, oh, hey, I'm jumping in on your session.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
With that.
That makes sense. I know.
Yeah.
There was this was a couple of years ago where I went into a studio. I wanted to put myself in your guys' shoes and experience it. Like, I'm not a musician. I don't play. I don't even know how to play any of that kind of stuff. I just wanted to feel it out. So I went in there and, dude, I was so flippin' nervous. It was just me and the producer, just the two of us. I was in there for 4 hours just trying to sing some tracks and whatnot. And I was like shivering cold but sweating and like just in my head the whole time. Like, the shit that you guys go through, man, is like none other than that I've ever experienced in my life. I've never had that type of emotion or feeling for any type of work that I've ever done. I've been passionate about jobs that I do and stuff, but nothing that like physically made me like, you know what I mean?
But that's probably also the first time you sang in front of somebody.
In front of somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, just in
that's
general.
exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I totally get it. And so had I been in there and somebody else was to come start criticizing how I'm performing it, I wouldn't have been able to hack it. I probably would have just walked away.
Respect. That's sick that you even did that. That's so cool.
Well, it
So
just
sick.
that was just because of this. It was like we get to talk to you guys on a weekly basis for the last 4 years. Neither one of us know how to play an instrument. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't want to be naive about it. Like, granted, I that I'm not a musician. I think that's the 5th time I said that, but you know, it's just stamping that I mean what I say when we say that we're here for you guys and anything we can do. So in order for me to be able to help you, I need to know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Right? So I just threw myself in it. I'm like, well, they're doing it, you know, so
Yeah.
what's all the fuss about? That kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
So
why are these people so nervous?
yeah, exactly. And so I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you. Like, yeah, you definitely don't want to be doing that. You don't want to force yourself into somebody else's art or
Yeah.
project or whatnot. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
That
I've
makes sense.
definitely I've hopped in with our friends when our
Yeah.
when our mutual friends come over and they're like, oh yeah, come down to the studio. Then that's where I'll come in and if there's something that I kind of have an idea for and I know they're open to it, I'll kind of voice my idea. But yeah, just gauging whether the person is like I know them or stuff like that.
Freaking right. So
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
you guys recorded. Is it just like a single, or did you do a full album,
It's a
or
single, and then I have an album coming this year as well.
Like a full album or an
a
EP?
Full album, yeah.
holy smokes, man?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
we've been working on it. How long has it been? 3 years?
Yeah, since the first song. Yeah.
So kind of just taking our time with it. I didn't want to rush out something just to have something out there. I've never been that kind of person that's like, oh, I just want to have something out there.
Yeah.
I wanted it to feel like me and be organic. So all the songs that I'm putting on the album are kind of a representation of who I am and what I've gone through. And he's like, I feel like he's the best producer for that because he knows me the most out of anyone. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo.
So have you recorded with someone else? Not a different producer, but do we know you like from other bands? Have you played with someone that we might
Yeah,
know?
so like when I was 15, I won like a recording competition. So I recorded with what is his last name? Barry
Mahalowitz.
Mahalowitz.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
never know how to say his last
Yeah.
name. Yeah. So I recorded with him for one of my originals when I was 15, and that is the only song I've ever recorded. And then I've always written since I would say like 10. I've written my first song, and then I've kind of just used that as an outlet. And then Travis kind of saw all the songs I was writing, and he was like, we have to get these recorded, kind of thing.
Well, if you sing 10,000 songs in your life, you're going to start writing good ones. Like, you're going to start writing good ones, right? That's what I mean about with you and with like Dakota and with you people that have been doing this their whole lives. there's a vocabulary whether or not you speak it, right? There's a vocabulary there. It's like English. You don't know every word you know right off the top of your head, but like you know.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Warm my soul, wish I know how to know to keep my feet from moving on the floor. I've been this sore, bruised wrists, color shown, running the tides. Feeling maybe I've been lost at sea, and you don't ever have to come for me. Same situation, only impatient. Please grow if you're seasick. Seasick. Medicine ain't strong enough again. Hits my chest and I lie to tell you the truth. I never touched it in my life. I've been this sore, bruised wrists, colors shown, run and the tide blows. Feeling maybe I've been lost at sea, and you don't ever have to come for me. Same situation, only impatient. Please go if you're seasick. Seasick. Feeling maybe I've been lost at sea, and you don't ever have to come for me. Same situation, only impatient. Please know if you're seasick. Seasick.
Yeah, I've had that a similar conversation with Colin before too, because I'm always like, I've asked so many people like, can you teach me how to write a song? Like that's the next thing, right? I want to know how to write a song because you guys are doing it, and I find it very intriguing. And Colin explained this to me, I think the best out of, like, everyone's like, yeah, we'll write a song to you, we'll put something together sometime, whatever. Colin was the only one who told me, you already know how to do it. And I was like, but I don't. He's like, but you do. He's like, think of how much music you've listened to in your whole life. He's like, you know the structure, you know how it needs to go down, and you know what sounds good and what doesn't. He's like, that's all it is, man. You're just putting words to that. And it clicked. It made so much. I was like, oh, I guess I do know how to write a song. Well, I shouldn't say I never attempted it, but I actually did try that one. It didn't get very far. You want to hear the concept?
Yes.
Of my song?
No, say no, please.
So what I did, this was maybe a year ago. I took a look at all the guests that we had on this program.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, okay.
And I wrote down everybody's name, like all the band names, everybody's name individually. And what I was trying to do was piece together sentences with it. Like, for example, I saw a 7-mile sun when I was driving by a dead levee on Highway 16 or something like that, right? And I was trying to make all these sentences, and then the idea was to like create a song with all of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you end up like?
No, I worked on it for like a night,
Yeah.
and then I never went back to
Yeah.
it. So I've got like a couple pages of like,
the next day he showed me the pages, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that was
about
the
it.
end
I
of
think
that.
I maybe had like 20, maybe 30 lines or something, but it wasn't.
Dude, but you can sing, right? But you can sing.
I can hold a note, but I'm not
That's all you
like,
need.
well, I don't even know if I'd say I can hold a note, but I can like hit a note, I guess. But yeah, definitely.
He'll let you listen to the song that he.
Maybe.
I like to tell people that before music was an industry, it was just something that people did. So like that's the same thing Colin probably is getting to. You already know it, right? So it's
Really intuitive.
it comes down to that. Yeah, it's like an art. It's like everybody can draw a smiley face if you get your best shot. So like it's if you like it. Like with sounding like very, very like spiritual about it, you have to you respect the thing and it'll respect you back, right? And you obviously respect music. Like I mean, have it come to the studio sometime. Let's sit around. And, like,
Dude, I would freaking love that.
Yeah.
To just be a fly on the wall. I love that kind of shit.
No, he wants you in the studio.
Yeah.
come in here now, like dead ass. Like I'm like saying like we should, like it's like even if you don't come out with anything or whatever, we make a funky moose like song. You know, we make you guys like a theme song while you're there.
Dude, I love this idea. I'm so fucking in. Like, just
'Kay,
tell me when.
Oh, dude, like I don't know. I'm up north teaching for the next couple months. I know. Any weekend,
Weekends,
dude.
yeah.
Weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
Free weekends.
Fuck
We'll
yeah.
further this conversation.
Yeah, we'll talk about this off air for sure. Yeah, I like this already. Hell yeah. Okay,
So
so
in a couple of weeks we have a new theme song.
yeah. Okay, so another question for the two of you. So you're planning on releasing this song in a couple weeks. May I ask, like, what type of plan do you have on releasing? Like, is it just like on this day it's going to all streaming platforms and then just try and direct traffic there? Or do you have like a little marketing campaign leading up to it where you're going to have like little promos and little trailers and teasers and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like doing it as I go, but I have a TikTok, so I'm probably going to post I'm thinking the verse and chorus is a little sneak peek. And then, yeah, so I'm planning on filming a music video for it and just basically giving it my all. Like all the stuff that I've been kind of keeping inside for all these years. I've always been a live performer, but I'm just putting it all out there so that people actually have a chance to like see me as an artist and like
Frickin' A.
yeah.
Man, my hat's off to you
Thank
for
you.
that. That takes a shit ton of courage
Yeah.
to do that.
Credit Travis a lot to that too, because he's pushed me like on days where, you know, my confidence was low. He'd bring me up again, and you know that happens as an artist. I know that I'm not the only one that experiences that, where we get down on ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very lucky to have a partner that lifts me up constantly. So it's
Hell yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, we get that
The
too.
more I hear about Travis, the more I think he's a very upbeat and positive person.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's
Well, what would lead you to think otherwise?
I was neutral, but now it's like this could go either way.
Yeah, I have been told I have RBF. That might be it.
I don't even know what that is.
Rest.
I didn't know that it was either. I'm like, wait.
I've been told I have FOMO. Do you guys know what this is?
Fear of
this
missing
is
out?
Fear of missing out. I just
Yeah.
only realized what this was like a few months back when a really good friend of mine told me like you totally suffer from FOMO. I
Yeah,
was like,
you
what
do.
the hell?
I could have told you that like 10 years ago.
I didn't even know that was a thing until like a few months ago.
What's FOMO? Tell me, I'm missing out on something.
Why would you
yeah.
tell me? Yeah.
Freaking rights. So, and forgive me, I did when we came back to the program here with you in it. So it's I guess it would be Beatty is your last name.
Yeah, so my
not
artist
always.
name is just Sammii with 2 I's. So that's kind of how
So Sammii.
Sammii.
MMII.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is that how you?
Yeah, so that's just how I'm going to present my artist name, but I took his last name when we got married, so It was really funny because when we were talking about that before our wedding, I was like, I've always said I'm going to keep my last name. But I don't know. I felt like it didn't feel official to me.
Right.
And he was like, we can do a hyphen. I can take your last name. We can do like burn off Beatty for both of us. And I was like, I just felt like I wanted to take his last name. So.
Because the big thing was like having like a family name sort of thing. So it was like I off the bat I'm not really old school, so like I was like like before you, I never thought I would even get married, right? Like before I ever met you, I never thought I would be married because I feel like I was so like fuck the patriarchy was that. You know, I didn't want to get married. I was like I didn't want to like. I don't know. I was big on like I don't want somebody taking my name or leaving theirs. So it was like a thing that I had. I don't know, but then we met and I was like I could see myself married. You know, it was like a couple months in. I was like I could see that. Because again, we've known each other for years, so there was already like chemistry. There was already something. So I was, I'm also just a big. I'm an overthinker, so it was a big time of overthinking for me, and like.
I have to ask, how did you propose?
A couple different ways. There was 2 proposals. There was once in my dad's garage because we were hanging out. I was like, we should get married. You know, and she was like, yeah. And then we just stood up and told our friends that we were getting married. And they were like, yo. Everybody freaked out.
Yeah, we were having people over and we were just like talking to each other. And I think we were both talking about how, like, I don't remember the conversation exactly, but I remember we were talking about how, we're a very cheesy couple. This is what you have to understand about us. Like, I'm a very cheesy person, and like, if I was gonna be in love with someone, they would have to be equally as cheesy. I found someone more cheesy than me. So, yeah, we were just saying how in love we were with each other, and he was like, you know, I would marry you. Like, I want to marry you, and I was like, I would too. And he kind of just looked surprised, and I was like, yeah, like.
I was like, bet.
You didn't say that. Yeah, so that's kind of how that went. And then, so Christmas came around right after that. And we drove down to the lake and he like proposed to me, and it was snowing and it was really pretty. It was all white. And he opened the ring box and I didn't expect it because I like thought I got my proposal. He was like, that can't be your proposal. So, and then he like said something really sweet that I can't remember because I was literally crying. And yeah, it was really sweet. So he knew that I needed that kind of romantic proposal, and I got that. So.
I needed that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe more than I did. I'm just kidding.
But like I was just like I wanted something to talk, like I wanted like that memory, you know. There was a I saw it going differently in my head of proposal, so I did that for this. Yeah, it was a really good story.
I like it because it
Story's way
was.
better than I do.
Yeah, you guys could write a song about that.
Were you nervous leading up to it?
Yeah, we went there on a quad, and I think the only reason I was grounded was because of, like, the air was in my face.
I was wondering why you you seemed nervous, and I was like wondering why, like, because I had no idea because you didn't tell me that was gonna happen.
Just look nervous because we're on a quad driving on sketchy roads. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, then I was nervous. Like,
Hell yeah.
I was nervous for my proposal.
Oh, how did yours go?
So in Holland, there's a set of islands above, like north of the mainland.
Yeah.
And my wife and I went there. One of the islands is kind of our family island. And I was like, I'm going to propose on the beach. I had the ring with me and whatever. And I knew she was going to say yes, so I wasn't nervous about that. But we were going to... Oh, she had her mindset on... There's this horse and carriage thing that takes you around the whole island, and you can see the island.
oh my gosh.
Sweet. We were going to go do that, and then at the beach, we were going to get off, and I was going to propose there. The first thing that happened, we get there, and the last horse ride left like 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, fuck.
No.
There's
you know what? I'm going to interrupt and say that's because you never leave on time.
No,
dude.
no. This had nothing to do with us being on time or
You
not.
did left 5 minutes before you got there.
No, well,
because
you
you're
have
late.
to. You have to get there on a boat. That boat was late. It wasn't us. Anyway, so I was like, oh shit, now what? So then she was all pissy because we missed that carriage thing, and like, great, this is gonna go well. And I was like, getting like, oh, should I ask? I don't know. Is this a good idea? Because she's not in the mood now. It's like, oh, I don't know. But then we got to the beach, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So I, went down on one knee and gave her the ring, and she started crying and said yes in 3 different languages, and was like, oh, hey, oh, we're good. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
Right on.
Something about bodies of water is romantic, okay? Bodies of water.
Yep.
Something about water is healing. Water,
Yep.
yeah. Something about it.
And I've been with the same woman for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not married.
No,
We
marriage
got-
not in the cards.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a thing that everyone needs to do. If you feel called to do it, then
Yeah.
do it.
I know if I asked her, she'd
Yeah.
say yes.
Yeah.
But we've had this conversation hundreds of freaking times, and we're both on the same page with it. Like, I understand it for like the sacrament to God and everything. I get it in that aspect of it. But in all honesty, it's me in my head, or us in our heads, and we're like, hey, I don't need a fucking piece of paper to disclose my love to you.
Yeah.
Like, either you
Yep.
trust me and you know that we're in this full throttle, or not, right? And I don't need any type of legal documentation to prove that to anybody. Like, I know I love you, and if you know that I love you, then so be it. That's all that matters. It doesn't. I don't
the
need
wedding is such a party, man.
Fuck, it doesn't
The
matter. It's
wedding.
not for. But that's where I don't agree with it, because it's like, if her and I, we were to get married, we probably wouldn't even tell anybody, because it's for us. It's
Yeah.
not for anybody else.
Go
Do
to
you know what I mean?
Vegas. Go to
Yeah,
Vegas.
just get it done in like 10 minutes, sign the paper. But even then, it's like, we don't need to do that.
Yeah. We actually talked about like eloping and just getting married
Right.
at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Our parents were like, nope.
No, my mom was like, no, you need a wedding. If you're gonna get married, it's not without me and your family. I was like, that's fair. That's honestly fair. I'll do it, sure. Just because my mom's put so much into like, me as a person, like all our moms do.
I
Our
definitely don't
guardians do.
regret it too. Got to have our grandparents there, so.
Yeah, our grandpas were chilling in the shade together. Yeah, they're like, but like that, like when I 100% respect that, because there's just again, I would have never gotten married before you, because both of our parents were the same way, right? And we were both,
The weird thing is, like, our dads are really similar. Like, our parents just, it was so weird when I met his dad, because they have very similar personalities, right down to the hockey team they like. Which is good, because then there's no arguments.
Yeah, family gatherings are nice.
Yeah. Like, at our wedding, we found our dads together, like, the whole night. They were just, like, sitting beside each other.
Having beers together,
Yeah.
they're sitting around.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, at our wedding, he played with, who was that, Colton?
Colton and Riley, my
Yeah.
best friends. Yeah, we had a jam. The band that played there was my dad's friend, Rockin' Ron Bradfield. He's a musician. He's been doing this for like years, my whole life. Like I don't ever remember him not being Rockin' Ron. That's literally his name. Like find me another person who's got a musical name. You know?
Yeah. Not Richie Valens.
No, Ron plays bass and he sings really well, really well. And we had him, his buddy Dez, he was another mentor of mine. And then our buddy Zach, played drums.
Zach Kerr? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he played drums. And then close
With his shirt off?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, at some point, probably. Like,
Stuffed animals everywhere, all over his that guy takes so many trinkets to gigs, man. I swear, man. One time we played a gig and he had snaps behind his drum kit. And I was like, dude, like between songs, reach back, grab a chip. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay, yo, how do you do that? No, I can't even remember.
Sorry, band.
Like, oh right, yeah, we jammed at the wedding. It was really cool because my family the whole night was, when are you jamming, Trav? When are we jamming? When's this happening? When's the jam happening? And Colton and Riley, they were in my wedding party, so they were both there that day chilling, and we had all gone to the room, had a couple of like post wedding drinks before the dance or whatever, got ready, went back to the spot. We chilled for a couple hours, got harassed by people for jam, and then we
I was one of those people.
we hopped on stage. I didn't know any words, so I did the old classic of putting an iPhone on a stand in front of me. Which is, I think we did like Fishing in the Dark. We did a couple of songs.
I think you did like some of your originals, right?
We did, yeah.
I think so.
Because I played in the band with those boys when I was a kid. We played in a band called Between Bridges when we were teenagers. And it was us three and another guitar player at one point. And then the other guitar player left, like a series of events. You know how that goes?
Yeah.
And then there was, then our buddy Ben Mayo, he played in a band called Jetfire at the time. And our guitar player left, and I was getting sick of playing all the parts and trying to figure out how to sing it at the same time. So it was like split in my brain, and I couldn't do that. I was like, I can't do this lead part and sing this lead part. My brain can't do that. It's like, that's why I respect people who can. And so I don't know, we texted our buddy Ben, like, hey, wanna come jam with us? Wanna come chill? And he immediately was like, yeah, let's go. And I think we had a jam like the next week. And immediately we were all like, it sounds better, because we had I have like kind of country chops on guitar, so it's like less power, And then we got Ben, because in my head, Ben was like lightning in a bottle on the guitar, so it was like, poof, as soon as he made a noise, right? So that's why we got him. And Colton and Riley were obvious. Like Colty, I made a post on Facebook saying I was looking for a drummer. And his dad commented. His dad was one of my mentors when I was a kid. His dad, Bingo Kimberly, he played in Just the Boys for years. He wrote the song "Bye Bye So Long Gotta Go" for people who know that one. As Colton's dad, and he commented on my post saying, "Hey, my son's a drummer. We should, if you're looking for a drummer and a band, my son's a drummer." So just immediately, there's nobody else texted me, right? So I was like, yo, let's go. And I immediately was like, I'm not even gonna look for no one else, dude. Like, he's like, Colty's a little younger than me. So it was crazy going there, like 17, meeting someone a couple years younger than me, and he's just, it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
And then Riley, I knew from Northern Spirits, the program we talked about. We had been in there for a couple of years together. And I just I had a song, and I was trying to put stuff together. I was like, I'm ready for a band. I just felt like I've been playing with an acoustic and a loop pedal for a year and a half or so. So it was like, I did the Ed Sheeran thing. If you guys watch Ed Sheeran videos, it's straight up ripped off his set. And it was like that for a year. And it was good, but it gets sick of playing by yourself, because you jam to jam. There's the social aspect of it. Music is a human relationship before it's in the air.
Absolutely.
It starts at the relationship. It doesn't start with the notes you play. So it was just, I was coming into that discovery, and I said, yo, I gotta build some relationships with musical people and do musical things daily. Because at the time I lived by myself, so I was kind of in my own place all the time. I just finishing getting out of the high school that I was in, and moving forward in life the way that I was, because I and follow a traditional layout in life where you go to high school, and you go to college, and you go to work. I didn't do the regular thing. I want to talk about that. It's probably close to the end, but there was just some inconsistencies in my life that weren't there. That were there, and there was things that weren't there. I can't talk. But there's yeah.
Is that one of them?
There's just like I don't know. And then I started the band. That's where I was. I started the band, and it pulled me out of this little funk I was in of like jamming by myself and like getting bored of music. Quite frankly, I started working construction, and I started getting into how to properly handle tools and how to properly do this, properly do that. All this stuff. You know, it was like something I was obsessed with at the time because I love ordering some of those CDs. So I love the order of it. I liked the order of watching my dad and his friend run that construction company and just go about it. It was like kind of like a dopamine rush, you know? Yeah. It was like, yo, this thing is working. There's just something about that that's exciting. So I tried to carry that over to music from that at the time because I was like, if I can take that this is working into music, and maybe it's not about being famous. My thing isn't about being famous or rich or whatever. That I wasn't chasing that. I was looking for balance. I was looking for jams. I was never looking for like anything else because I had a couple of mentors at the time who had made it to Much Music. They made it to like my buddy Marty made it to like Much Music. He played in Reach and Trust. You guys know what Reach and Trust are? They were around in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and I loved them. Because my dad had this CD, he had a Reach and Trust CD, songs from Dying Nations, and it was, there was a couple songs on there that just blew my mind. Like I remember being like 12 years old and having my first like big fake in life, like oh my God, I hate it. You know, like that thing. Yeah. I remember doing that for the first time when I was a kid, and like grabbing a marker and protesting and being like, I'm writing on your wall. I just ran to my dad. Like, I don't know. I wrote, what was this? I can't remember the lyric. Dude, I wrote a lyric on the wall, and I can't remember what lyric it was, but I remember my mom just like, I don't know, there was an anger, but there was like a quiet anger to it, and she was like, and then she moved on with her day, clean it up. She had already got mad at me, so it was like, there was some things that happened that day, and I was like, she was already mad, so it's just clean it up, and she left the house, and crying, smelling the wall. I can't get it off, I go get the paint in the shop. Yeah, go inside.
So like, the music did it help you through that emotion?
It taught like that. Oh, that's what I was great. I got lost in the laughs. Okay, that was the point of it. Was it taught me expression, and it taught me like that's what expression is. That's like what came out of me that day was this is expression, and I think the writing on the wall was like, oh.
That was the writing on the wall.
It was the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. Took me a second there.
Well, I'm actually going to have to, forgive me, I'm going to have to cut you off right there.
That's fine.
Because we are going to run out of time here.
Well, it is a nice way to end, like, you know, the writing on the wall thing and
I agree.
how you got to music. Yeah, I like.
Hell yeah. So with that, we want to tell you we love the shit out of you guys. It's an honor to have met you. I'm looking forward to
a nice
the release.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For me too.
Hell yeah. You guys are both officially a friend of the herd here. So if you guys ever want to come hang out with us, come back on the show. It's an open door, man. Just let us know if you got something you want to promo or hype up. Give us a shout, man.
And tell people in that camera where they can find your music.
That's right.
Okay. Follow me on Instagram, Travis_Beatty. You can follow the Restaurant Recordings page on Instagram, and everything I'm going to put out is going to be on there. Sam's is going to be posted online already. Sammii, her single comes out January 22nd. I played it back on Half Seas Over, I didn't get to mention that, but we are recording the single in the studio. That comes out February 5th. And then there's another couple of things I'm not going to mention them, but keep an eye on those pages. That's where you'll see them.
Hell yeah. And your TikTok?
Yeah, so my TikTok, what is my I don't even know my username. No. I think it's just like, honestly, I'll post it on your page, so you can find it on his page on Restaurant.
I'll share it on the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you find it, send it to us, and
Okay.
we'll
We'll
make
put it in
sure
the
that we
description.
have it in the description
Okay.
of
Yep.
this video, you guys. So if you want to find more from these two, just follow them. The links will be down there. And dude, we appreciate the shit out of you guys. This is a lot of fun. Thank
It
you
was
for coming
fun.
all the way out
Thanks
here.
for hanging out with us.
Thanks for inviting us, or for having me out. Like, thanks for everything, dude. This is a cool night.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do
Welcome
it again.
anytime.
All right. Bye, guys.